After that, you have to check the chest and the abdomen and lower limb. Really, in the chest, specifically look at the upper chest. And as always, you have to excuse from the patient for that, especially if the cases of alternative sex, especially if the examiner is male and the patient is female. Specifically look at the upper chest for the presence of, for example, for spider telangiectasia, if the patient had gynecomastia or not, and look here for double lumen, that of uremia and pacemaker here in patient with cardiac problem, and so on, of diseases, primary and secondary skin lesion also. Take a look at the abdomen and see whether the abdomen is distended or not. Really, here you are in the chest, we have the breast can be examined, precordium, and the respiratory system can be examined. Really, the respiratory system and the precordium are systematic examination, and we will defer them into a special situation. And the for examination of the gynecomastia or examination of the breast, this is a specific examination, and it is examined separately. Likewise, the examination of the abdomen is also system examination and examined separately, so you can satisfy with these measures. After that, take a look at the leg. What we have learned in the upper limbs, you have can be applied in the lower limb, taking into account the outer surface and the inner surface and the outer surface. Also look at the dorsum of the legs and then detect the dorsalis pedis artery between the first two metatarsal bones, and then anterior tibial artery between the two malleoli, and then the posterior tibial artery between the medial end of the Achilles and the medial malleoli. Likewise, you have to detect patency of this vessel in the contralateral leg also. After that, you have to check for nail abnormality that are the same as what we have learned in the upper arms. After that, detect between the toes webs for fissure, ulceration, infection, and so on, and look at the plantar surfaces bilaterally, and also palpate the plantar surfaces. After that, you have to detect for edema. How can we examine for edema? First of all, look at both legs for any obvious swelling, and then press over upon a prominence, for example over the shin, just like this, by your thumbs, and your face should be directed to the patient face to determine whether there is any tenderness or not for a few seconds. After that, determine the edema, if any, whether it is pitting or non-pitting. If there is edema, one should comment upon it in such a way that the patient had bilateral edema or unilateral. If it is bilateral, you have to detect whether it is symmetrical or asymmetrical. And both, you have to detect whether it is tender or non-tender. And in addition to that, you have to determine its grade and its level. How can we determine its grade? The grade of edema is determined in such a way: when you press and then remove your finger, how much the indentation spent from the time till it returns back into its normal state. And this grade subjective by the examiner and could be from +1 into +4 in patient with severe edema. Its level, how can we determine it? You can, after pressing here, you can press at the upper leg and the upper shin also, and detect the level up to the abdomen. This is all about the level of the edema and edema in general. After that, you have to keep in your mind that in all the examination, during all the general examination, you have to detect whether the patient had a primary skin lesion, secondary skin lesion, and medical accessories. Medical accessories may take the form of cannula, oxygen mask, or the patient had giving set with the fluid, with the blood, and so on from medical accessories. Primary skin lesion may take the form of macule, papule, and so on. Secondary skin lesion may take the form of ulceration and so on. You have to read about them carefully. And never forget, when you present the case and when you examine the case, these two steps of general examination, that are the general look at the patient, should contain age group of the patient, sex of the patient, awareness of the patient, the cubitus of the patient, that's to say position of the patient on the bed, comfortability of the patient, whether the patient is comfortable or not, body build, and lastly whether the patient is dyspneic or tachypneic. This is about the general look at the patient, while the regional examination should contain jaundice, anemia, cyanosis, clubbing, edema, and lymphadenopathy. All these issues and scales required for the general examination, and I am greatly thankful for your listening.